Some mysteries dig deep into our collective psyche, stories where logic collapses and all that remains is uncertainty. These cases leave behind more than evidence. They leave behind fear, suspicion, and an itch that even decades can't scratch away. Here are 3 cases that continue to confound experts, devastate families, and challenge every known method of investigation. The disappearance of Asha Degree is one of those haunting stories. On Valentine's Day, 2000, a quiet 9-year-old girl from Shelby, North Carolina, packed her school bag, left her home in the middle of the night, and walked out into the cold darkness. Surveillance cameras and witnesses spotted her walking along a highway, alone and carrying her backpack. She was never seen again. A year later, her backpack was found buried in plastic along a rural road, miles from where she vanished. Inside were books and a New Kids on the Block t-shirt, items her family confirmed weren't hers. There were no signs of abduction, no known issues at home, and no logical reason a 9-year-old would leave on her own at that hour. Police scoured miles of terrain, questioned hundreds, and even called in the FBI, but every lead hit a dead end. A child walking alone at night, disappearing into thin air, with not a soul able to explain why. That's the kind of case that lives rent-free in an investigator's mind. In the heat of Arizona in 1995, another story unfolded, this time in Phoenix. Jonathan Luna, a successful assistant U.S. attorney known for his dedication and clean record, suddenly disappeared during a late-night drive. He was expected in court the next morning but never showed. His car was later found in rural Pennsylvania, over 90 miles from where he had last been seen. He was found dead in a creek, with 36 stab wounds from his own penknife. His glasses were neatly folded, his wallet untouched, and there were no signs of robbery or typical violence. The FBI initially believed it was suicide, but investigators on the ground couldn't reconcile the brutal injuries with that conclusion. Why would a respected lawyer drive across multiple states in the middle of the night, leave his belongings perfectly arranged, and stab himself multiple times in such a painful, deliberate way? Theories swirled: whistleblowing, corruption, blackmail, but no one could piece it together. His death was eventually ruled a homicide, but no suspect has ever been charged. Whatever secrets Jonathan took to the grave are still locked behind silence and fear. The last story takes us to the shores of Ireland and into one of the strangest unsolved cases of modern times: the disappearance of Trevor Deely. In December 2000, Trevor was walking home after a Christmas party in Dublin. A security camera picked him up talking to a man in black near his workplace. Later footage showed him walking alone down a dimly lit street. That was the last time he was ever seen. The man in black was never identified, though he seemed to be following Trevor. Police searched rivers, combed through CCTV, and questioned everyone in his circle. Despite their efforts, no body, no trace, no clue ever surfaced. Unlike most missing person cases, Trevor seemed to vanish from the public narrative, only resurfacing when new footage or an anonymous tip came in. But none led to a break. Friends say he wasn't depressed, had no enemies, and had no reason to disappear. And yet, that cold December night swallowed him whole. Was it a random act? A targeted crime? Or something more obscure? Nobody knows. And perhaps nobody ever will. What unites these 3 stories isn't just the eerie nature of their vanishings, it's the void they leave behind. People don't just disappear. There are always reasons. There are always clues. But when even the most modern forensic tools and dedicated investigators can't bring light to the darkness, we're forced to accept something chilling. Some answers may never come. And that's what keeps these cases alive. Not hope, not closure, but the gnawing whisper that someone, somewhere, still knows the truth.